barakatuh. This is Dr Nuri Saleh with the Power of Change, Radio Sierra 1575 AM. Welcome all. This is today my show in English. It is urgent message to the parent. That's just to show people in the Facebook the diagram I made it 2 years ago about our children. This urgent message to the parent is very important. About a week ago, and even a few days ago as well, many parents contact me through WhatsApp and over the phone, and they were complaining about what happened to their children. This is something we know in the community, and we know it in so many societies, the conflict between the parent and the children. Doesn't matter the age of the children. And there are some incidents, which I'm very sorry about, that some of the youth run away from their homes. And my message today is for the parents. They are responsible and they have to take the responsibility. First of all, let me show you the situation of our children in this world, either the Arab countries or the Western country or any place in the world. There are factors, there are points affect our children. There are, I would say, factors affect our children. Let us start, just would like to list out, make a highlight about the main factors surrounding our children and affect them. I would just like to see the time, so I will not talk too much because I'm really sad. I feel unhappy, and I feel sorrow and sadness in my heart. I can't even present it in words, any words. So please forgive me, and I hope that it will not take a long time, because I know even for these kind of topics, people, again, they have no patience. They don't want anybody to talk for a long time. They will not listen because they're not patient. So what can I do? But I'll do my best. What are those factors? The factor number one, and the most important factor in our life, is the family. Now, let us see, if we exclude the early childhood, which a newborn baby to 5 years, exclude this one. Suppose that the child is going to the primary school at the age of 6 years old in most of the countries. They may go to preschool at 5 years. But let us imagine now, let us concentrate, not imagine, concentrate on this age stage, which is from 6 years. Now, the child wake up more in the morning, normally 7:30 or 8 o'clock, in order to be 9 o'clock in the school. From 9 o'clock to 3:30. So he'll be at home, so he'll spend about 6 hours. He'll be at home, or 6.5 hours. He'll be at home around 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, they will have dinner. Then how much time that child is going to stay with the family? Not stay as just staying, but what is the reaction and the interaction between the child and the parent? In 70 or 80% of the families, nothing, there's no reaction. Food, they feed him, they may give him some money, then they play on PlayStation or go to the YouTube or use his or her own iPad. 9 o'clock, most of the children go to sleep. So how many hours in reality? How many hours in reality we have? We have about 5 hours. If they sleep around 9, 10 o'clock, and they come back around 4 o'clock, so about 5, 6 hours. These 5, 6 hours, the involvement of parenting duty is zero. And the reason is that the children are living in the same accommodation with their family, with their parents. They feed them, clothing them, of course, provide them with accommodation. These are care service. It's not tarbiyah. It's not upbringing or raising. No, or rearing. No. This is no difference between the human and animals in these rights. The animal rights like that. If you have a domestic pet, you have to feed the animal, even clothe them. Sometimes you have to protect them from cold weather, and then accommodation. So it is care. So are we going to consider our children like animals, like our pet? That's exactly what so many parents deal with their children. They give them money. They entertain them. They give them what they want. The best food, mostly junk food. And they are living with us. So your children are living with you at the same home. But you are not, it's not a family. It's like nursing home or any other home. They're staying with you for some time before they say goodbye. So that's the period, very critical period of their life, very critical stage of their childhood. I would say 80% for sure, because as a family specialist and as expert in the childhood behavior modification, I know that for sure from my own experience and my interaction with the parents and families, where we're solving so many problems around in this city less than others. So this is factor number one, the family. They spend 6.5 hours in the school. That's the second factor. 6.5 hours in the school. In the school, they have teachers, the effective teacher, of course, which presumably will be positive one, curriculum, and classmates. All of these together shape the mentality of our children. They change the way of thinking. They affect them, whether we want or not. It's normal. We as a human being will be affected by anything we see, anything we hear, anything we react with our heart. These are the receivers. Allah made it, subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's mentioned clearly in the Quran. For us as a Muslim, we know that they are the receivers of information and the receivers of anything new we want to learn. We learn it through these three receivers, important: the sight, the hearing, and the heart, or the component of intellectual and mental, I would say, activity we have at us, which is heart and other things related to it, which was called in the Quran fu'ad. And the word fu'ad including the heart and other things, and related, of course, with certain areas in the brain. So everything is related to each other. In the school, this is factor number two, which affect our children. That what happened. They spend 6.5 hours. Their mentality will be shaped, their behavior and everything. The classmate can affect them, maybe bad classmate, or regardless, bad or good. I'm not talking about this now. I'm just showing you. Okay, if they spend 6.5 hours in the school, and they spend about 5 to 6 hours at home, these 6 hours, they don't have 10 minutes real relation with their family, with their parents. Do you blame them if they become anything? It's important that our duty as a parent at home should be full duty. Not only providing them with food and money and clothing and accommodation, but what about the morals? What about the fundamental principles? All of these, they will receive it from you at home, not from school. That's why so many schools, they are suffering from the bad behavior of the children. They came from homes. This reflects, in fact, the situation of the children with their parents. They don't do anything. Maybe some of the parents will be very anxious if the child hasn't got high marks in mathematics or in biology or in physics. They feel unhappy and they show it. They don't have the same reaction if the child is stubborn, argumentative, bad behavior. They don't. They may dislike it, but they don't show they don't present their feeling towards these kind of actions, like they're feeling and anxious when the child doesn't get high marks. So these are some of the parents, not all of them. Some they don't care at all. But these are the parents who they want their children to be a doctor or engineering and whatever. They raise them for a duty. They raise them for a professional title, not to be a good citizen and a human being. I know it. I know this and I have seen it and I have discussed with the parents many, many times. Factor number 2 is the school. Factor number 3, which is with us, it's the media, either TV, radio, iPad, mobile, name it. They receive information, affect the child, affect and shape the mentality and the way they think. So what you are doing now, look at these 2 main factors, the school, including, of course, teachers and curriculum and classmates, and the media, including all of these destructive electronic devices, iPad, mobile, whatever. I mean, no doubt there are so many useful things and benefit, yes. But the other side of those destructive electronic devices, what's your rule as a parent in front of these? 21st century, we have so many challenges. You have to be very careful. You are responsible for your children. Right. This number 2. So talking about the family, number 1, the most important factor. Number 2, schools. Number 3, the media. Number 4, the values of the society. They receive the value. They don't learn it. They just absorb it. They learn it without anybody to say anything. That the speed of society, that the lifestyle, they just absorb it. And they will behave accordingly. There are wrong and right. What do we do as a parent for them? What do we do for our children? That's number 3. So family, school, media, and society. Number 4, values of the society, principles of the society, whatever they are. I'm not talking about wrong and right. If they are wrong, of course, they will affect the child. If they are right, they need some modification. They need to be these right values to be rooted inside their heart. They won't be like a habit, because this habit can be changed. So we have family, we have the schools, we have the media, and we have the values of the society. They are factors surrounding our children at early stage of the childhood. As they're growing, the effect will increase. The effect will increase, no doubt. Right. What about, I've just highlighted the factors. What about outside, the street, when they play outside? In the street, they can gain anything. They can receive anything, bad or good. Normally bad. Bad thing, bad habit, bad ideas. They may become drug addict. They may become anything. At that age, yes, at that age. They were complaining, some of the children at the age of 10 years old in Europe, they are using drugs and alcohol and things. So this is factor number 6. Family, schools, media, and values of the society. And number 5, the street, outside, friends and others. That's 5. 5 factors, 5 effective factors, including the family. Right. What about the other factor, which is very important, inside the children? Their personality traits, their behavior, the way they think, the way they behave, related to their personality traits. If they are bad personality traits, they need to be modified. If they are good personality traits, they need to be developed, and they need to be, what I say, modified in a way that they'll become beneficial and positive. Because maybe there are so many good personality traits can be easily twisted due to so many circumstances. So again, let me number it again now. We have the family, we have the schools, we have the media, we have the electronic devices. The media including the device, okay. So family, schools, media, then value of the society, then street, outside, then number 6 is personality traits of the child. So these are the factors. There is daily basis effect on our children as they are growing up. I'm talking about the primary school now. When the child reaches at the age of 12, 13, her personality almost being shaped in any way, bad or good. If it's good, all right, we need to encourage the way he's going to. If it's bad, it needs modification. And any bad behavior can be modified easily. There is modification strategy. That's entirely my work, and I have done it with so many families. It's work, providing that so many factors need to be there for the success rate, for the modification of behavior, or behavior modification strategy. Right. Let us now look at the picture as I have put it here. That's the picture here. Right? What is the proportion of the family? 1/6. Because the family is number 1, school 2, media 3, a value of society 4, values and principles of the society. Outside the street 5, personality 6. If we take the family, it will be 1 out of 6, or 1 against 5. So what does it mean? The effort of the parent should be 5 times to equal all of these. Correction of what happened in the school on a daily basis. Correction of what they receive from the media on a daily basis. Correction of what happened from the moral of the society, maybe they're wrong. Correction of what received from the street. Correction from their own behavior and ideas inside them. Do we do that? No. There are exceptions, of course. There are exceptions. Some of them, they deceive themselves. Some, they are doing the right thing, maybe 3%, as I have seen here in Leicester and some areas, and even in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and some other places, you see. They don't do much. But I would say that those who they care, there are 2 types. Number 1, those who they're pushing their children to be famous. They push them for duty. They push them for professionalism. Not to be a good human being. No, to be a doctor, to be engineering, to be... Not necessarily every doctor is a good man, or every engineering is a good man. Maybe can be engineering as in his own professional, and the other side, maybe he's very bad as a human being. So this is the problem. So once we raise them in this way, and they become a doctor, and they become in engineering, but at the same time they'll be very bad as a human being. In their work, they are excellent. As a human being, as a father, as a husband, as anything, 0. And in fact, the human being is not title. We're looking for the humanitarian value of a doctor. humanitarian value of engineering. That's why we call it ethics. The word ethics came when people lost the morals. So that's why they made this subject, they call it, and this issue, they call it ethics, medical ethics, engineering ethics, professional ethics. And ethics is sort of moral, including, of course, some acts of the professional, plus some other moral and values, which is together make these ethics. So those who they have no moral, for example, at all, they have to follow this ethics as a conduct, as a regulation of the institution or company or hospital or whatever. The other part of the people, they deceive themselves by sending their children to learn, for example, certain language, or to spend time looking at some Arabic, if they are not Arabic series in the TV, and they feel very happy if the children doing that. And some of them, they send them to do something useful. Yeah, but again, they send them out. What about the duty of the parent inside the house, inside the home, as a family? That's this thing which lack of communication inside the family. As the child growing, the effect of those factors increased, and the factor of the family decreased. The instinct, the motherhood, the brother, the fatherhood is there, no doubt, but it doesn't work after some time. It will not work because the child will have his mind shaped in a different way. We have motherhood, we have fatherhood. There are instinct. Allah made it in our heart, that's right. But it doesn't work in raising and upbringing. It's just feeling. This feeling will be nonsense. It will be nothing when the child reaches certain age, when he's going to depend on himself. Whatever you've given him, whatever you have given him at that stages, early childhood and middle childhood, before puberty, before he become mature at the age of 18 or whatever, it will be reflected. Whatever happened during the childhood, he will gain it and he will show it. I haven't come yet to the issue. Why do I want to send urgent message to the parent with my sincere advice and my best wishes and hope to them to succeed? I spent about 27 minutes just to show you the factors, the sources, the points around our children, and the duty of the family, the responsibility of the father and mother in raising their children. The word tarbiyah in Arabic language doesn't mean raising only, doesn't mean care only. It's care and raising. It is in fact the word tarbiyah equal building a human identity. And Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, for us as a Muslim, he came to complete the morals, the best morals and principles. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was a great model and example to show us how the human being should be on earth, to serve a certain duty, the purpose of life. My brothers and sisters, my daughters and sons, I hope that at least I have given highlight about the situation of children in the world, the whole world, not only in Europe or in the Arab countries. No. Now the whole world now sharing everything together. You've got all of these factors in every society, name it. With a degree, of course. Maybe in some of the Arab countries, those external factors, if we exclude the family, they may have some positive, I would say, positive effect on the children. But the main duty, the most important role in building the identity of the human being, to become a good citizen in the country, to become a good human being, either to become a doctor, engineering, whatever, but he has to be a human being first. We are not building titles. We are not building a robot called a doctor or engineer. We are building human being, and they are, in fact, the force of any society. They are the shield of any society, and they are the bright future of any society. My brother and sister, my sons and daughter, I wish you all the best. Please stay with me. After 7 o'clock, I'm going to continue to tell you about the reason of my message and what happened, what sort of phone call I've received, what sort of, I would say, subjects I have received from the parents, mothers and fathers. From Radio Sierra, 1575 AM. You can reach us as well online, www.radiosierra.com. They listen live. And you can have us as well live now in the Facebook. Go to the Facebook at Radio Sierra. You will find me talking. I wish you all the best. And I'll be with you after 7 o'clock, inshallah ta'ala. I don't want to spend a long time, but at least I hope the message, the first part of the message, being delivered and received. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Stay with me. I'll be with you after 7 o'clock today for my urgent message to the parent, all parent on earth. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.